2025 has truly been a banner year for folding phones. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 is excellent, and it is winning Phone of the Year or Foldable of the Year from multiple different publications. The Pixel 10 Pro Fold surprised me. It's better than I thought it was going to be. Of course, you have Vivo's Foldable Honor also released the Magic V5, which is fantastic. There are so many great book-style foldables out there. And all the while, as book-style foldables have been getting better and better and better, Motorola has been toiling away on their flip-style foldables, improving them each successive year. And I think most people would agree that it's right there with the Z Flips of the world in terms of just overall quality. But it seems like Motorola might not be done. It seems like maybe, just maybe, they are preparing to shake things up in the foldable world in a way that I am very excited about. So let me show you what's got me all excited. This is a tweet from Alex, who you might know from Android Headlines. And Motorola sent over sort of a little gift bag, which is not super uncommon for tech brands to do. You can see several cool things here in this bag. But the thing that's really interesting are these last two images. This is a little sort of like wooden notebook. You can see there's paper inside of it there. And on the front it says, "Every fold reveals a possibility." And then the last image shows this little card. "We're getting ready to unfold new perspectives at Lenovo Tech World, January the 6th. Look, I don't have to connect the dots too much for you guys. We have a book, which is an interesting size and shape. We're going to talk about that here in just a moment. And then something saying they're going to unfold new perspectives. So, yeah, it does seem like Motorola might be gearing up to launch their first ever book-style foldable. And again, we just had this banner year for foldables where so many of them did well. But keep in mind, in the United States, it's really still just a two-horse race. There's the Z Fold and the Pixel Fold, and then you got to import anything else. Since Motorola has clearly been refining their hinges and their just overall their hardware prowess when it comes to folding phones for so many years, this is already, and I guess I should mention their software too. I mean, obviously, it's not exactly the same, but they've been working on this stuff for years. That instantly makes their entrance into the folding phone world a bit more exciting for me because they've been there and they've done that. This isn't a company coming in this is going to be their first folding phone. This is going to be like their 12th folding phone or something like that, which is very exciting. But the other aspect of this that makes me excited is the aspect ratio. You guys know that two of my favorite phones of all time are Surface Duo and the original Pixel Fold. And the reason for that is because you have this sort of passport style design for both of these devices. The Pixel Fold in particular is extremely one-handable, but then when you need a larger screen, you have this larger screen, and I love that it is wider than it is tall. It's a proper tablet-style device. Instead of being kind of a square or a bit taller, like it's just basically a big phone, this felt like a tablet and a mini phone. Of course, Surface Duo, remains its own beast in many different ways, but using it like this, it really did feel like that passport style device. Hey, now I've got two screens, plenty of room to get things done. And when we look at this thing, that's what that looks like. And again, we're sort of connecting dots here. We're assuming they're showing this notepad that happens to be in this size and shape because they're trying to hint at what their folding phone is going to look like. Two things could happen here. One, they could release a book-style folding phone of a completely different aspect ratio that just does what everyone else is doing, and we could be reading too much into this. Or two, it could just be another flip phone or something like that just has a weird timing for the normal release cadence. I don't think that's going to happen, but we do need both of these things to hit for this video to really make a whole lot of sense. But assuming that these things do happen, tell me that doesn't look like this. Because it does. It absolutely looks like this. And I think that there's some other good reason why maybe, just maybe, they would go down this road. So first off, even though I said this is really just a two-horse race in the United States, across the world there are lots of different foldables now, and all of them have basically the same form factor. They are a normal phone that opens up into something approximating a square. If Motorola wants to be different and they want to try to establish themselves in a niche, which is what they've already done with flip phones, using a different form factor would make quite a bit of sense. And that form factor, if that is accurate, if that's what they're going to be doing, is a form factor that's going to become not as niche, according to the rumors, very, very soon. We have seen the leaks and rumors, the dimensions of what the iPhone Fold is supposedly going to look like. This is a render made by Bob Oba. I'm not sure how you would pronounce that, Bob. I apologize, but this is a render based on some of these leaked dimensions. Of course, I also made my own little 3D printed mock-up as well, and it is a very short, wide passport style device that honestly doesn't look that dissimilar from this image. So theoretically, Motorola could kind of get there first and release their own passport style device, have that established, maybe start to make some hay that way, and then here comes Apple to legitimize the exact form factor that they released, and they can say, Apple copied us. We were here first. That could be a winning strategy. Now, don't get me wrong, I think this would be a niche strategy. They're not going to instantly step in and overtake Samsung's Z Fold 7 with something like that in terms of market share. Samsung probably still has the lead in quite a few different software areas, although Motorola's pretty clever. Who knows what they could come up with very, very quickly. But I do think that rather than going head to head with Samsung, getting out front with a unique form factor that then is allegedly going to be instantly legitimized, maybe later on that same year, or maybe, a year or so later, I think is a really, really interesting way to approach this, and it's a strategy that I am extremely excited for as someone who loves these passport style devices. As much as I do really like my Pixel 10 Pro Fold or my Z Fold 7, this is a pretty darn big phone that opens up into a square, which is good for a lot of things. I love split screen multitasking. I love that when I do, watch video content on this, I don't really need to rotate it. Like, that's a pretty big canvas already. And then, of course, I can take that and I can do the little floating pop-up view, which I had it paused, so that didn't actually happen. But I can have the little pop-up view and stash that in the corner and have a pretty big... You know what I'm saying. You know what foldables are good for. I think that that's a cool form factor. But the passport design, guys, there's a reason that I like it as much as I do. I love the idea of truly having two distinct devices for two different use cases. Having a device that is so easy to use one-handed, it's easy to use as a camera, it's just a really nice size for me. But then when you have those moments where you think, man, I'd love to have a bigger screen, you have a bigger screen, and it's a true tablet, which makes split screening better. It makes multimedia viewing better. I think it's just the better form factor, and I don't know why the industry has settled on a different form factor. I just prefer it the other way. So Motorola, if that's the way you are going in 2026, sign me up. I will be there with my debit card ready to go. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I have an expectation that you probably are feeling the same way as I am. A lot of you are Surface Duo, former Surface Duo users and former Pixel Fold users, and so you're probably thinking a lot like what I'm thinking. But I'd love to hear down below exactly how you feel. Have you owned a Moto Razr? What was your experience like with that Moto Razr? Was it a positive one? Would you be interested in this book-style device? Again, hit those comments down below. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.